So let me introduce you to our other speakers. We have Mubarak Nabil Jafar, co-founder and CEO of KLC Virtual Restaurants. We have Amin Mohammed, CEO of Cult Food Group, and someone brought a support group. I like that. We also have Ahmed S. Abdul Mohsen, co-founder and CMO, Venture Food Restaurants, and Akhilesh Bal, founder and CEO of Malt and Salt Hospitality, is going to be our moderator for this session. Gentlemen, would you like to come up? I want that same energy again. Let's give that for our next session. I want that for the rest of the day.
Hello, everyone. You've seen me before on stage for a little while, so I'll try and not bore you much more, and I'll let these gentlemen answer all the questions. But we've got a very interesting topic running now, taking forward from what we were doing last on the food to go and convenience models, but I think we take a leap forward. We're talking more about innovation and consistency and speed, but in the F&B realm, keeping in mind how technology works, how technology helps. And I'm going to dive straight in. We have, I don't know, maybe 29 minutes to go. And the topic is such that I think we can do 49 minutes and yet not be tired. But let's start with innovation. We've got innovation, consistency, speed. We'll go one by one. But gentlemen, feel free to stop me, throw me off, pick up the points wherever you feel is most challenging or more interesting as a topic. But if we go with innovation and we take that as the first cue, we're talking innovation in F&B, innovation in restaurants. From your experiences, and you run different style of businesses, different style of operations, how important is innovation is my first ask. My second ask, leading on from there, is in today's day and age, and it's a very highly competitive, fast-paced, has it now become a necessity to innovate? If we don't innovate, do we fall out? We were having a chat about your business, and when you said there's so much competition here, and you said it's challenging but very interesting off stage. But let's go into innovation. I mean, if I may lean on to you first, and you've got a plethora of brands, a lot of them franchisees, multinationals. Is there room for innovation? Or being the franchisee, you're limited with innovation?
Well, first, thank you so much for having us here, and thank you for everyone for coming over and attending. Our industry cannot survive without being continuously innovative. So any business owner sitting in the room knows that if you don't continue to innovate, you fade away. And the consistent thing that I talk about on a regular basis, if you're not moving forward, you're moving back. There's no staying still. So from that perspective, even when you are running large brands that have hundreds of restaurants that are controlled by franchise systems outside the country, without understanding the consumer and innovating for that consumer, I doubt any brand can survive.
So is it close to necessity, or is it a continuous process that keeps working through different brands at different times of the year or operations?
It's an evolutionary exercise that is a necessity, and any business cannot do without. And it combines three pieces, in my view. You must understand who you're innovating for, which is the consumer, first. But in doing so, you cannot innovate for the consumer without looking at the link back, where you are actually serving through team members, innovating through products. So the whole chain has to work in order for innovation to be sustainably successful over time. And when you're running businesses that are 20, 30, 40 years plus, the chain has to work continuously, almost every day, for innovation to become part of doing business and not just a thing you think about from time to time.
And naturally, and we'll come back to this, I'll move to Ahmed, but there will be a point where sometimes across businesses, the element of innovation has failed to work. We'll come back to that point. But Ahmed, you've got great brands. I was telling you off stage, 2016-17 was the first time I heard of your amazing Asian China Garden brand, and a friend of mine brought me the menu, and I was overawed at that point in time, I'll be honest. Was it innovation at that point in time that led you to start that brand, or did you see a gap in the market and you say, hey, this is what needs to get done?
Thank you for having us. Thank you. It was nice meeting you earlier. Of course, innovation is a daily part of business, in our business, and how we started. We saw a product or a menu that wasn't being done properly, and we took advantage. We took from the outside, we understood that there's a need. We innovated in packaging. We were, from the beginning, from 2012, delivery-based. So we started delivery first. And we were forced to think about packaging, about heat retention, about the customer experience from the most difficult part, which is early delivery. I remember when we first joined Talabat, it was quarter KD per order. And we used to receive orders by fax. So, and it's now full of integrations and Talabats and everything, or all the aggregators. But we evolved. And there's a saying, you don't evolve, you die. So it's unfortunately a fact. Things are growing faster paced today than before.
Yeah.
And especially being a competitive market, you're always on your feet. There's something every day. So innovation is in everything, in the way you sell, in pivoting, in moving through delivery models, in moving between aggregators. Innovation is menu, innovation is food, innovation is business. So it's very important. And we constantly evolve, almost on a daily level.
I love what you said, innovation is business. I mean, I think that sums up the entire core value. But do you see that happening in all of your brands, or there is a life cycle to innovation that you must come up with periodically?
It gets more difficult. It's like aging. So we have mature brands. Our brands are almost 13 years old.
Yeah.
We have some that are young, 5, 6 years old. But the play is the same. It's the same medicine, it's the same exercise, diet. It's the same thing you do for every brand. They're alive.
Yeah.
And you have to keep them alive.
Yeah.
And, downhill is very fast.
Correct.
And it can happen overnight.
Yeah.
So if that keeps you awake, you will innovate.
Correct.
You have to.
Mubarak, you said, let's spice things up. So it's your turn to spice it up now. I can't ask a question to a better person regarding innovation. I mean, your background of tech was by itself innovation of what you did before what you're doing now. The journey from there to starting your own pure virtual brands, delivery, not just delivery first, but delivery only, cannot be done without tons of innovation. And you run what now, more than 80, 100 brands?
Over 100 brands.
Over 100 brands. I cannot imagine how you run the business or how you think of brands and cuisines and markets and demographics, but give us an insight on your philosophy of innovation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everybody's having a great time. So it's an amazing topic, and I'm going to go back from when we first started.
Please. Yeah.
So we had originally set up a delivery-only location, single brand, small delivery location, at a time where delivery really wasn't going anywhere. It
Which year
mainly,
was that?
That
Sorry.
was in the 2009.
Right, okay.
My brother Mohammed, he opened a restaurant called The Kitchen,
Right.
in a small location, near Kuwait City. And to be honest, at the time, online food delivery was young. There were really not a lot of orders coming in, and we couldn't make ends meet.
Right.
So what happened was we had to innovate. It wasn't really an option.
Correct.
It was it's either you innovate
A necessity.
or you just, it was a necessity.
Yeah.
So what we did was we started to look at basically our business, and then we started to see online food delivery grow. So we saw a gap. People started shifting from offline to online.
Yeah.
And that was really the first innovation that happened, I would say major innovation at KLC, where we started to build delivery-only concepts, which we call today virtual brands, for online aggregators like Talabat
Right.
and the like. So what happened was we started to see a gap. There were basically 50, 60, 100 restaurants at the time on Talabat. And there was basically a huge demand and a lack of supply.
Yeah.
And that's really what led to the birth of basically creating multiple brands. And then what happened was we realized that these virtual brands don't necessarily need to be in independent locations. So we started to set up basically cloud kitchens. This was later on during the journey. So the first innovation was virtual brands. The second innovation was basically setting up a kitchen that could house all of these brands. So as opposed to having one location that does one brand, you can have basically over 100 brands and then stations in a much bigger location.
Correct.
So the minimum location that we would look at today would be 250 square meters. And then we would have basically stations that do basically cuisine. So we've got basically brands in every single cuisine you can imagine. So we have, brands like Taco y Taco in the Mexican cuisine, Thrive Salads, Project Pasta. We even have a Mongolian beef concept. So we have concepts across the board, stations in our locations, and that was really the innovation. But it really came out of pure necessity, pure desperation to come up with a solution to the problem that we were facing. And then what we saw was extreme efficiencies across the board, whether it be rent ratio started going down, labor efficiency, and even consistency on the ground.
Correct.
So what we started to do then was basically create one brand, which was one eatery. And I'm sure if you order from KLC, you get a one eatery bag that basically houses all of these brands. So as opposed to having 100 brands and 100 different delivery bags, you have one delivery bag, one set standard. So what we really look at is basically delivering food in the right packaging, making sure that all the food that we serve is delicious, because that's really what everybody's looking for.
Has to be.
And we need to make sure that we're offering value and delivering on time.
Right.
Obviously, that's something we're going to be discussing later today. Speed of delivery,
Correct.
that's a controversial. A lot of people have a lot of deep feelings, and you mentioned a couple of points as well.
Yes.
So good food takes time to make, so we'll leave that, I think, for the...
No, I was coming to that now. So, I mean, this leads to the next point of consistency. Across all different formats, delivery only, great multinational concepts, homegrown. I think if we don't do consistent production and consistent service, we'll be out of business anyways. Does that lean on from innovation, or if I may come to you again first, please, I mean, from a consistency perspective, it's not just about food, right? It's also about service, the format, or rather, can I use the word consistency equals predictability?
You must.
I must?
You must. I do believe while we are so proud of our industry and what we do, in reality, 80% of our business is predictable.
Yeah.
Regardless of what we think. We make it sound difficult because we like to look good and feel like we're doing a lot, and we do.
Yeah.
And we're very proud of it. But in reality, the business, if you put a science into it, 80% of it is predictable. The difficulty is how do I make the 80% consistent every day? And in a business that runs about 50,000 transactions a day, how do you make 50,000 times the same thing over and over and over again? You must get innovation into consistency so that it is boringly repeatable. And boringly repeatable is the keyword. And in that sense, the bigger question that should be asked is not about the equipment, not about the design, while both are important, it's about the team member that stands in the kitchen.
Correct.
So to Mubarak's point, 100 brands in the same kitchen, there is a massive amount of work that happens in that kitchen prior to the start of the day that ensures that that individual team member makes the same thing again and again and again. And in that sense, it starts with the people. It is prerequisite to be designed properly, but it lands back into the operating standards, the training standards, the team member, the recruitment, the follow-ups.
Correct.
The whole ecosystem has to work in order for the system to be consistent. And in that, even then, it's very difficult to get 100%. The truth is, when you have, 18, 19 million transactions a year, you're going to upset some people.
Of course.
It's not going to be perfect.
Cannot
because
keep-
one team member woke up on the wrong side of the bed, had a wrong dream, and does not feel like making the burger or the pizza the right way.
Yeah.
But you hope that you get the 80% right most of the time.
Correct. Mubarak, I have to come to you with this point. Exactly what Amin was saying. Now there is the pre-prep or the mise en place that has to be done and everything else in your kitchens, and one kitchen producing 400 brands. There are your SOPs. It's a people's business. We are all people. We cook for people. We serve people, and hopefully they come back and give us repeat business. But there is a huge tech play in it. Now, in your kitchens, what weighs heavy on the other? Is it tech weighing heavier on operations by guiding, let's say, I don't know if it's the role of AI, or is the role of training, or is the role of SOPs, inventory management, just in time, or is it the people who are effectively using technology? Because it all will lead to, hopefully, consistency, and that's what you want in your business.
So I think it goes back to what Amin said as well. It's about designing it properly before actually executing. So
Yeah.
we realized that basically we had 12 cuisines in our company. So we have 12 cuisines in a kitchen. Then we went and then we built it based on the number of cuisines, the number of orders that we're going to receive per station. And then when we go to the restaurant, we try to simplify the process to avoid any sort of miscommunications, because you
Yeah.
can imagine it can get very hectic when you're doing hundreds of orders a day from a single unit,
Yeah.
and basically you have menus that aren't consistent,
Correct.
items that are different. So we had to go and unify everything to create a streamlined process. So that goes back to, so that actually has nothing to do, I would say, but we didn't even talk about the tech yet. The tech made a massive difference.
Yeah.
So we can imagine managing so many brands. Back in the day, you'd have to have 1 million POS points.
Unimaginable.
Yeah, it was unimaginable.
Yeah.
And it wasn't actually even practical
Yeah.
to even think of doing such a thing, because the technology wasn't there.
Correct.
When the technology was basically available, we realized that, wait, we can actually do this with one POS.
Yeah.
With an integration, we wouldn't need multiple different tablets, because at some point we had tablets for each aggregator. So you
I've operated in that manner. Six,
I still
seven,
remember we
yeah.
had a room in our head office, and I entered the room and I was shocked. And I looked at the IT and I told him, what have you done?
Yeah.
He's like, these are the tablets that they gave us. I'm like, how are we connecting all of this power? It was it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So we had to basically get out of that mode, and then we went through basically integration with aggregators through our POS. That basically reduced room for error
Yeah.
significantly. So
Yeah.
you can imagine there's no more manual punching.
Correct.
The orders get transmitted. You get real lifetime data. Everything is super clear. You can track everything by hour, by day, by basically cuisine, and even by city, because we're in 5 cities. So we're
Yeah.
basically expanded outside of Kuwait in 2022.
Correct.
We're in Dubai, we're in Abu Dhabi, Bahrain, and Qatar.
Yeah.
If we didn't have technology, we wouldn't have been able to streamline processes and do our expansion in such a short period of time. So we
True,
have basically
true.
all of our brands operating across all countries,
Yeah.
and we're basically managing all of this from Kuwait. And this is only possible with the technology and our technology partners, and they've done a fantastic job
Yeah.
as well in the last 6-7 years.
Awesome.
And they've built products for delivery-only companies like ourselves. This
right.
wasn't the case
Correct.
pre 2020.
Wasn't. Do you face the similar problems of people versus technology, or one overpowering the other across your different brands?
I mean,
And then leading on to consistency, of course.
yes. I mean, we share kind of the same mod. We're a hybrid
Correct.
of Al Qut, a smaller version
Yeah.
of Al Qut and KLC, because we also, back to innovation, we realized very early on that delivery only is very painful. Everyone wants to eat.
Yeah.
So aggregators got bigger, demand got bigger, the fees got bigger. Everyone wants to integrate, everyone wants a piece of the pie. So early on, through innovation, we had to rethink our model. We got an opportunity to join Temdeen Group, and we signed up with 2 malls. A small local Kuwaiti operator in the field of giants, next to all the big brands, Subway and Pizza Hut. And we had to change our model to deliver consistently good food that was delivered to your door, but even better.
Yeah.
So, alhamdulillah, that's as a pivot. And now we operate in 5 mall locations across Kuwait. And QSR is a big part of our model.
Yeah.
And back to consistency, ultimately, as much tech as you want to put, there's always a human. And for us, the humans, especially for something so personal as Chinese food, you can do so much, prep the sauces. We have 2 central kitchens. We cut all the vegetables. But in the end, he's adding the seasoning.
Correct.
He's finishing it. And there's a beautiful concept in Chinese food. It's called the wok hei,
Yeah.
the kiss of the wok.
Yeah.
You can't do it through robots.
No.
It can't be electric.
Yeah.
It can't be. It's experience.
Yeah.
It's experience. Give your employees the tool and train, and hope for the best.
Correct.
Because there's always a human element.
Yeah.
That's how we've been dealing with it.
I'm going to get on to the next topic directly with you because I think you've touched upon the human element with such importance. Where does speed come into the equation? Now, the wok hei, classic example, you're not flipping a burger robotically, you're not throwing a half-baked lasagna into a convection oven which comes out in 6.5 minutes and is ready to pack and serve. It is the wok hei. It will take time to cook that dish in the wok. How does speed come into play from ensuring consistency but or customer experience?
Okay. It all comes full circle. Ultimately, you have to evolve. Today,
Yeah.
one of the biggest filters, I believe, in aggregators is delivery time, especially in this market. People search, 15 minutes, I want to eat now.
Yeah.
6 months ago, 15 minutes was impossible. Today, it's normal, and it's scary. You can't even go to the local store in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So you have to innovate. You have to do it faster. And I really feel that for us, because there's this personal prep time, cook experience of 4 to 5 minutes, we took technology and shaved time from the other aspects. Integrations, getting the tickets to the kitchens faster, packaging faster, organizing the dispatch. This is where we shave time. We don't shave time on cooking because every dish is made to order.
Right.
Shave time everywhere else for us, except let the chef or the cook be a cook. You're
Yeah.
feeding people.
Yeah.
The human connection can be tasted.
Correct.
It can't be microwaves and rational ovens. It
No.
cannot be that.
No.
So that's
Yeah.
how we tackled it. Everything but the cooking.
And that transposes across all your brands that you operate. The philosophy remains the same. Okay. 50,000 orders a day. You said about 90 million through the year. There have to be issues with consistency and speed, trying to work them hand in glove and yet deliver great experiences to customers. Across your multitude of brands, there are some brands that will cook faster, serve faster, deliver faster, but there will be some brands that will take their due course. Do you always face compulsive pressures of, let's say, beating the 15-minute deadline across brands, or is that not going to last for too long?
A very straightforward question to a very difficult answer. So let me put it into different components. The first component is recognition to all the business owners in Kuwait, because I've been in this country for 16 years, and I can tell you my prior experience I was proud of, I am still very proud of, but I have never seen a more dynamic market, at least for the past 16 years, as I have seen here. So everybody who's in this industry needs to be super proud. It makes even the big boys run. So that's the first component. Second component, in the same token, that we come back to innovation and consistency, you must be innovating and working on your consistency every day. When you think of a Burger King or a Pizza Hut that have been in this market for 10, 20, 30, in Pizza Hut case over 40 years, guess what? Every single day we're trying to make it better. Yeah. Every single day we're testing it differently, and every single day we challenge ourselves. What are some things that you don't negotiate with, even when you come back to speed, is product quality. I was asked earlier about what am I most proud of. I'm proud of a lot of things, but what I'm most proud of, things that most customers, consumers in Kuwait don't know, is that the burger in Burger King hasn't changed this entire time. Never did. It's still the same. The graded, aged mozzarella cheese for Pizza Hut never changed. Still the same. Most customers don't know that.
Right.
Now here's what I'm afraid of when we talk about speed. In order for you to be consistently faster and pushing the marker every time to get to 15 minutes, my fear is then the kitchen starts to play. And then the products start to get prepared. And then it starts to be staged. And then we start to do things that we shouldn't do because the consumer demand that 15 minutes. And that's where I think there is a responsibility in business ownership within the industry to say there are red lines that must not be crossed.
Correct.
And for us, these red lines do not get crossed. So if I can deliver in 15 minutes, so be it. And if you want it in 15 minutes, then call somebody else.
Right.
That's it. Now, what else can I work with to make sure that I am fast?
Yeah.
We are very proud that we own the entire experience from beginning to an end. We're very proud that we invest on the entire chain from farming all the way to table. We're very proud that we control the supply chain in a lot of ways that gives us the flexibility and the leverage to purchase quality consistently because we can negotiate. Having said that, you still need to work on speed through technology.
Correct.
You still need to work through design. So something that was asked in the previous group, we're very proud that a lot of our delivery, we design backward. Our locations are designed backward.
I said that point.
Right. So if the majority of the location is delivery, then why does it make sense that the store has a counter up front?
Correct.
Does not make sense. So you flip the kitchen now is backward, it delivers faster.
Correct.
Simple.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, what happens in the technology, the way it serves the seconds? How long does it take for the order from push button to get to the kitchen? How long does it take to stay at the table? How long does it take before it's ready? How long does it take while sitting, waiting for a driver? What is the drive time? What is the wait time? And what you realize if you have the technology backing is that there are minutes and seconds in every stop. And when you shave them out, and for our case, we shaved about 7 minutes.
Wow.
Out of the entire experience, because you can go back and say, well, it takes about 5 minutes for the driver to come. Well, can I make that 2?
Yeah. Yeah.
And on average in Kuwait, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes for the driver to wait for the customer. Well, can I make that 1? And you shave 3 here, 2 here, 30 seconds there, and all of a sudden you have speed. So speed on your feet works.
Yeah.
Speed by cutting the kitchen never works.
No, correct. Relates to you?
I think I have quite a strong opinion actually about that because I remember there was
it has to, right? I mean, it's one of the hallmarks of your business.
100%. And I completely second, what was said because it doesn't make sense to deliver food in 15 minutes unless it's already been made in advance.
Correct.
So that's something that we have to understand.
Which
15-minute delivery doesn't apply to
in which case
all
you're
the
killing the
restaurants.
food anyways.
Exactly. So, when we look at KLC, across the board, maybe delivery time, we're a little bit higher than everybody else because everything is made to order.
Yeah.
We really focus on the quality of food. And that's really what made us stand out. Because if you're delivery only and you're virtual and you don't have a physical presence, the only thing you have is that logo, your menu, and the quality of the experience and your product. So if you don't do a good job, you're finished.
Correct.
You won't be able to survive. So we invested so much time in the tasting, the food, the quality, the recipes. And then we went and unified all of that. But what we realized was good food just takes time to make.
Correct.
You can't, sometimes you just literally cannot make something faster. And I'll give you an example, a simple example, which is basically a lasagna or pancakes. So you can either make it in advance, reheat it, but it won't taste the same. And we've tried it multiple times, but in the future, with new technology, will that change?
We don't know.
We don't know. So we have to kind of remember that there is a limit. So I think if you're getting your food between 30 to 40 minutes, that's still acceptable.
Right.
Today. However, this whole idea and dream, and if you realize aggregators in the last couple of years, they kind of stopped pushing
Correct.
fast delivery because
Yeah.
they realize, you know what, that's not maybe what people want.
Yeah.
People want their food to arrive in less than 40 minutes, definitely.
They were losing their metrics.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, they're putting restaurants under a lot of
pressure,
pressure.
yeah.
And what's happening is staff,
Everybody starts to
and the team
compromise
members,
and cut corners.
are being put under pressure from
Correct.
their operations managers, and then there's a lot of corners that are getting cut.
Yeah.
And that's something that is going to basically destroy a brand over a long period of time. So what we're
Yeah.
seeing is the brand life cycle for a lot of brands, especially when they start doing delivery, is fast. Basically, the decline
Yeah.
becomes faster. So we used to see maybe brands, operate for 5 years comfortably, and then they start seeing saturation and then go into decline. What's happening is with delivery, restaurants have like a 2-3 month honeymoon period,
Correct.
and then a stagnation, and then an instant decline,
Start
just
going
due
down.
to the fact that they've basically fell into the trap of aggregator discounts, aggregator
Yeah.
tools, and aggregator speed.
Correct.
So you have to kind of look at your business and really understand what you're doing,
Yeah.
and make sure that you're offering something of value
Got
to
it.
people, and then basically understand that the food is something that should be a non-negotiable.
Correct.
Especially the speed of the food. Now, you have to try to bring it down by a couple of minutes,
Yeah.
but there's a limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a hard stop, gentlemen. Unfortunately, I am out of time and I will get thrown off stage. But yes, if anybody has any questions, catch the gentlemen off stage, grill them. I wish, off stage, please, sir. We're out of time now, and I wish we had 1.5, 2 hours more. We would have killed it even better. But gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. It's been lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, gents.